I'm not convinced that AI is the right phraseology, the right syntax, because that's Cyberdyne Systems and Skynet. But we are seeing a lot of automation.
Just to kick things right off, can you tell us a little bit about Perseus?
Yeah, sure. We're the world's largest non-captive SDN, so we provide financial infrastructure, capital markets trading infrastructure, and high-performance application structure around the world. That's a mouthful, but we're in 100 points of presence in 79 cities in 33 countries around the world.
What are some of the ways that Perseus is really advancing this broader fintech discussion that we're having here today?
Yeah, well, one of the key themes of fintech today is agility. A lot of the paradigms that the traditional financial markets and models have been trying to adapt and adjust to are being changed by agility, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves on. We're entirely next generation infrastructure, and that agility enables clients of ours that include blockchain-based technologies, traditional market makers and exchange technologies to adapt and play onto the new thematic changes and the new tech changes based on our infrastructure and our ability to serve those clients' needs and those changes.
So what are some of the hot topics that you're seeing around this fintech discussion?
I think what we're seeing a lot of is robo and man-machine language changes, machine learning. I'm not convinced that AI is the right phraseology, the right syntax, because that's Cyberdyne Systems and Skynet. But we are seeing a lot of automation, and that's one thing that we've done effectively globally, is we've automated client access to the global network so that you can go and move your services around or deliver an application one day into Johannesburg and the next day into Sao Paulo and be very, very agile. So I think it's one big theme. I think one of the other major themes is sort of the human in the loop. And the human in the loop is, where do we see vocational changes, job changes, HR changes, and what are humans going to be doing in the world where robots or bots and machine learning sort of moves in and takes over some of those boring, mundane functions that we do today.
Certainly. Knowing all of those hot topics and being very immersed in that total conversation that's taking place, what do you believe is kind of the future of fintech? Where do you see this all progressing to?
Progressing to, yeah, that's a really tough prediction. I think if I had that insight, I'd certainly sort of avoid sharing it all with everybody. But
numbers too, right?
Maybe. But I think there are a few things that we can sort of look forward to over the next 4, 5, 6 years, and then looking out further, I think some of the material science work will enable us to go from sort of large form factors to smaller form factors, and that means less power consumption, more compute, and much, much, much smaller, like orders of magnitude smaller devices. So playing into that, you're going to see the rapid development of the Internet of Everything. And the Internet of Everything means we pick up on all sorts of data. So when you start your car, when you get your cup of coffee in the morning, and that will enable financial advisors and financial service providers and exchanges to aggregate large quantities of data, and that compute power that is now available to compute that large quantity of data is going to enable us to make better, smarter decisions. And probably there's going to be a drop in volatility as time goes by, which may or may not be a good thing for some businesses.
Well, from an exchange perspective, we like drop in volatility, of course. Yeah. So that's something that we would like to see as well.
Well, I think we will.
Yeah.
For all that data collection and all of those sensors and the Internet of Everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we'll be harnessing all of that data as it's coming in as well.
And there's a material that I think is oft cited as a potential successor to silicon, and that's barium titanate. With the form factor is an order of magnitude smaller than silicon today. So it could be that we go from transistors to silicon to barium titanate and a further progression from there. And that's something we'll see in our lifetime.
Certainly. And so that's the scientific side of things that we have yet to really implement into all of this.
Right. And material science takes a long time. Going from steam to nuclear power generation it took a couple of 100 years. So we shan't expect it will take place in the next couple, but certainly in the next couple of decades.